if you have a toddler that is not speaking well and they don't have any learning disabilities or anything of that nature that is preventing them from doing so, then the chances are the reason why they're not speaking, they're not talking, is because they're not being taught. They're not being talked to. Because children play back what is given to them. Okay, so here's a mistake that people make. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, you're teaching a child to say thank you. At least in the day I grew up in, I was born in the '60s, so this was like huge during the time I was growing up. Um, the adults would say, hand the child something, and they would say, "Ta ta," which that was thank you. Okay, and the child couldn't get whatever it is they would want it until they said "ta ta," and so they learned to say "ta ta" for thank you. Okay, and later on down the line, Tata would turn into thank you. The adult would now change that into thank you. They'd hand the child something and the child would say Tata and they'd hold it back. No, thank you. And the child was going to look like crazy because it's like, what you mean? I thought I had this down pat. I'm supposed to say thank you. I'm supposed to say Tata. I said Tata, but you're not giving it. So now you want me to say thank you? What is that? See, that's a disconnect because see, and most people, most adults, at least at that time, they would say "ta-ta" because they thought it made it easier for the child. It doesn't really mean you don't need to make it easier for the child. Their child is that brain is a sponge. It's absorbing things. It could learn 12 languages during that time. So if you if but it, this is what happens if you say thank you to that child, they're thinking thank you. It's still gonna come out "ta-ta." Why? Because their motor skills are not developed and they have to develop them. But what matters is what they're thinking they're saying. They're thinking they're saying thank you, but their mouth is saying ta-ta, which means that eventually the two are going to connect and it's going to be thank you. However, if you teach them ta-ta first and then force thank you on them later, then they don't know what you're talking about. And as far as I'm concerned, that's abuse. Because why won't you just use that mind space to teach them correctly? So like whatever you put in them is going to come out. And however you want them to speak, whatever the things you want them to talk about, those are things you have to talk about to them, and that is the way you have to speak to them. So if you want them to have good diction, you have to speak with good diction. If you want them to talk about intelligent things, you have to talk about intelligent things to them. If you talk about nonsense to them, they're gonna play back nonsense to you. If you speak in a slang that can't be understood, they're gonna speak that same way. They're gonna play it back to you. They're gonna give you whatever you gave them. But yes, again, if you have a toddler that is not speaking, talking well, or not talking at all, they are not being talked to. Talk to them. And when you talk to them, let them see how your mouth forms when you're saying the words. If you literally need to put your mouth over their mouth and say the words so they can feel the vibration of it, it teaches them well that way. They learn well that way. Especially if you have a child with a disability. If you allow them to speak slowly and allow them to see the way your mouth form moves when you're pronouncing that word, you will find it will be much easier for them to do it. But again, if you're not talking to their child, they can't talk back to you. There's nothing there to come back to give you back. Okay? So thank you for listening. And I want to say this: my channel is being shadow banned. So if I have notifications on and you're not receiving my content in your feed, check back on my channel periodically because I upload 3 videos a day. I've done that consistently since June, since I started this channel in June. And however, I will be slowing it down. I'll be doing 1 video a day for the next couple of weeks. But if you have not seen my content in your stream, it's there. It's on my channel. So go check it out. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. And thank you for sharing if you've done that. And have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.